All right, let's dive right into a really foundational command from the Bible, specifically from Exodus chapter 20. The theme is so direct and powerful, God's call for our exclusive worship. We're going to explore what this meant back then and, maybe more importantly, what it means for us right now. And here it is, right at the heart of our passage. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that, right? This isn't a friendly suggestion. It's a core principle for how God's people are supposed to relate to him. This one verse really sets the stage for everything else we're about to unpack.
So you might be asking, why such a strong command? What's the big deal? Well, to really get it, we've got to understand the world the Israelites were coming from. You see, they weren't getting this command in some kind of bubble. They were stepping out of a culture that was completely saturated with other gods. I mean, just try to put yourself in their shoes. They had just come out of Egypt, a place that was absolutely filled to the brim with idols. Everywhere you looked, there were physical statues and representations of gods for just about everything. This was their normal. And that is the key right there. God was basically saying, you're my people now, and you're going to be different. This command wasn't just about banning statues. It was about protecting their unique relationship with him. He didn't want it to get watered down or corrupted by the world they had just left behind. So this gets us to a really deep point. This isn't just about smashing some statues. It's about what's happening on the inside, on the altar of our hearts. That's the place where God demands, and frankly deserves, to be in first place. The main problem God was tackling here was this idea of mixed worship. It's this tendency we have to say, sure, I'll worship God, but I'll also put my trust in this other thing. God just completely rejects that. And his solution was fascinating. He told them to build simple altars, made of just plain earth or uncut stones. No fancy artwork that could steal the focus from him. And this is such a great contrast, isn't it? On one hand, you've got these incredible, impressive human creations designed to make people go, wow. But on the other, God is asking for simple, humble obedience. The message is pretty clear. It's about the posture of your heart, not about putting on a fancy show. Okay, so this has to make us think, right? If idolatry isn't just about golden statues, what does it look like for us today? What are our modern equivalents? And this really breaks it down for us. See, an idol is anything, and I mean anything, that we put our trust in, that we love, or that we depend on more than God. So where they had literal gods of gold and silver, we can easily create our own idols out of things like money, success, comfort, or even just getting other people's approval. So here's the bottom line. True worship isn't about trying to squeeze God into our already busy lives. It's about building our lives around him. He doesn't just want to be on our list of priorities. He deserves to be the very center of that list. But here's where it gets really interesting. True worship isn't just an internal feeling that stays locked up in our hearts. The Bible shows us that when our hearts are really pointed toward God, it has to spill out. It has to change how we live in the real world. And that leads us straight into the second big lesson here. A heart that truly worships God has to show it in how we treat other people. The two are completely connected. You can't have one without the other.
It's pretty amazing when you look at what comes right after this command about idols. It's not more rules about altars. It's about people. It's all about social justice, how to treat servants with dignity, how to protect the most vulnerable people, and how to make sure there's fairness for everyone.
And see, this is how it all ties together. A heart that truly honors God is going to start looking a lot more like him. And what do we see? We see that God's character is all about justice, mercy, and compassion. So our worship gets lived out in our everyday decisions and in all our relationships. Okay, so we've looked at the what and the why. Now it's time to get practical. How do we actually put this stuff into practice in our own lives? Well, the Bible gives us some really clear, actionable steps. All right, first up, the worship that happens in our hearts. It's kind of like a 3-step process. First, we have to look inside and be really honest. What's competing with God for that number one spot? Second, we have to do something about it. Actively remove whatever's pulling our trust away from him. And third, we have to approach him with humility, not pride. And then, flowing out of that internal change comes our worship in action. This is the practical day-to-day stuff. It means we treat other people with fairness and respect. It means we go out of our way to protect and care for those who are vulnerable. It means we let our faith actually shape what we do every single day. I love this idea.
Just think about it. If our devotion to God is like the root system of a tree, deep underground where no one sees, then our obedience, how we actually live and treat people, that's the fruit that everyone can see. They're not separate things. They're a vital part of this same life.
And that brings us full circle. After all the history, all the theology, all the practical application, it boils down to this one powerful, life-changing command: worship God alone.